I've never really spoken to anybody about this before. It's sort of embarrassing, slightly nervous about talking about something that I've kept quiet about for so long. I've often written about aliens and things like that, and it's obvious I'm interested in these things, but I've never actually told anybody that I was actually abducted by aliens about 8 years ago now, 9 years ago. Um, God, this feels really difficult to talk about. I don't really have a plan of what I'm going to tell you. It's well, I suppose let me start at the beginning. It was just a normal day. I woke up. It was just a normal day. I came down the stairs. I put some water on to boil to make some coffee. Probably went to the bathroom while I was waiting for the water to boil, and then the next thing I know, there was a light. There was a light in the kitchen. It was I can't describe it. The whitest light you can imagine. You know, like when they're doing photographic things and they put white lights everywhere. It's just pure white light. It was light so strong. There were no shadows anywhere. There was so much light. It wasn't possible to have a shadow. But this light, it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt in any way at all. It didn't hurt like the sunshine. It didn't hurt like somebody putting a torch in your eyes. It was really quite an extraordinary thing. It didn't scare me in any way at all. And then I noticed that my feet, I couldn't feel anything under my feet. I noticed there was no pressure on my feet from my body, and I looked down and I could see that I was actually lifting off the floor. And I can't tell you if I went slow. I don't have really clear memories now. I used to have. I'm sure I had a very clear memory of what happened to me, but now I'm just remembering what I remember. I'm not actually remembering the event, I don't think. I don't know. I can remember lifting up, but I can't tell you if I was going up at 2 kilometers an hour or 20 kilometers an hour or 200 kilometers an hour. But I went through the ceiling of my kitchen, and I could see myself going up above my kitchen where I was standing and going up through the roof of the house. And then I was above the city. I could see all the lights of the city, and I knew I could see everything. But then when I looked behind me, it was black. As the light was so white, this was so black. I was looking into a vacuum, and I can't explain how you can see nothing. If you close your eyes, you can see something. You see spots and lights and things moving, and you see images. I saw nothing, absolutely nothing. And that, I think, is the point where I realized it was real. This was a completely real and true experience, because I can't imagine seeing nothing, and you can't imagine. I can't explain seeing nothing to you. So when you actually have that experience, you know it's real. It's absolutely real, and I knew what was happening to me. And I don't think I didn't see a spaceship. I just saw a door. So I don't want to call it a spaceship, because I only saw a door, and this door sort of did that, like a, I don't know if it was locked or it was like this, but just a space opened, and I floated in. I moved in. I don't know if I was flying or if somebody was taking me, but I only have the vision of my eyes going into this room, and there were these beds, tables. They weren't beds, they were like surgery tables, I guess, just very clinical, and there were people on them, and I wasn't scared. Again, I wasn't scared because the other people were awake. I could see that they were doing things to them, and there was no panic with the other people. So it was like curiosity, I guess you would say. Yeah, it was happy to be curious about what I could see. And they had these like really long instruments. They weren't knives. I think you would say they were probes. So they went into the bodies, and they were connected with electrodes or something. I don't know if there were wires or if it was like wireless. I don't know. I just remember they were carefully inserting these really long instruments into these bodies, and then it was my turn, and I was fine with it. They were around me. I had 3, 4, 5 people around me, and they were smiling. Now, remember what I said about the blackness? They were smiling. They didn't have mouths, so I only know they were smiling because somehow they told me they were smiling. There was no happiness in their eyes. You couldn't see a smile like you can when somebody has a mask on. There was no emotion, but they were smiling. They were making me feel comfortable. They were putting me at ease with their invisible smiles. Can't explain it any better than that. And I think I was moved around the spaceship. I went to various places. There were times when they seemed to be more focused on my head, and then there were other times they seemed to be more focused on my intestines and that part of me. But I told you I didn't know how I was going to explain this today. I just wanted to tell somebody what's been inside me for so long. And then, like a dream, I don't know how or why I came out of this condition, but I found myself in my kitchen again. I literally just went blip, and there I was in the kitchen. And I thought, at that precise moment, I thought, my God, I went into a dream, or I've had a dream standing here. I've had a dream. But I looked out of the window, and I could see the shops were pulling their shutters down. They were closing at the end of the day. I had just woken up, and I was just making my coffee, and I still needed my coffee. I still was thinking, I need coffee and breakfast. But 10 hours had passed, 11 hours had passed. The town was closing down. I was still getting up, and the town was closing down. And the only thing was I could feel an itching in my side, and I lifted up my shirt, and I could see the marks where those probes had gone into me. They were tiny, tiny, tiny red marks. They were not even incisions. They weren't cuts. They were just points where these instruments went into me. And the next day they were virtually gone. I had nothing to show to anybody. Within 2 days there was nothing to show. So all I had was my distorted memory of what happened. I can't tell you why I was abducted. I can't tell you what they really did to me. I can't tell you where I went. The only thing I can do, hand on heart, is tell you that I was abducted. So there you go. Now you know. Thanks for listening.